Disclaimer, I'm having a wine, so if I can't speak. Anyway, before we reveal why Nat is moving out for a few nights and leaving this gorgeous place.
I know, I'm going to miss out on this view. It's just the storm that's coming.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's awesome.
I wanted to talk about the house sit interview that we had that we actually said no to.
Yep.
And it was one of those things. So there was a few things that happened. The first of all was we just couldn't connect. We were trying on the computer with the house internet, then we tried to get the mobile data working. It was showing up 4G, but the video kept cutting out. We ended up walking right out to the end of the balcony, standing in the sunlight and doing 5G to talk to this lady.
Stinking hot sun.
And even as we were trying to connect, I said, this is happening, it's not meant to be. So that was the first comment that I made. And then this lady just fired off question after question
Barrage
after
of
question.
questions. Which is fine, like she needs to
Absolutely.
get to know us and no problem with that. She just had a list of questions. But I think she was so inflexible, she just asked the questions as if she hadn't even read our profile.
Yeah.
And we kept saying to her, well, we've lived in Mexico since 2017. So
for example, one of the questions was, are you in Mexico? It's like, we actually wrote that to you.
Yep, we're in 𝗪𝗧𝗏. Like we've just had a conversation about the background of our video.
It was sort of strange. She was just really, really
rigid
and detailed. And then it was weird because it took the entire conversation for her to finally loosen up in the last 2 minutes before we left. But by then we were already like, this isn't feeling right. And I guess individually, we kept sort of going through the process as if, it was our house.
Checking it out, yeah.
But we then were immediately with friends and we were talking and we just hadn't even had a chance to talk to each other to say like, are you feeling or not? But we finally discussed and said, no. It's like
there's too many red flags.
We had these perfect dates to fill in before we needed to get back to Australia. It just like was a chunk of time that was perfect, and it's literally like 2 hours drive from here. We could drive our own car there. All those things were tick tick tick.
Yeah.
But this communication or interaction was just weird.
Didn't flow.
I
think that's the thing with house sitting. It's got to feel like not an interview, but more a conversation to see from both sides. Does it fit? Like, are we the right people for you? And do we feel it as well? And yeah, there was a lot of red flags about some of the things. And I was like, no.
Yeah, and to the point that even I wrote another question to her after the interview and said, oh, what about this? Because like, how long can the dog be on its own? Because we will need to take quite a lengthy journey to do our visa process. And I was like, oh, maybe this is our out. Because nobody ever likes to kind of let people down, because she'd sort of hinted that we were, doing well. But she also had told us that there were 10 people that had applied. Now, not all people showed up for the interviews, but she had other options. So when we finally pulled the plug and said, no, our visa process to get our permanente here is the priority. And she said, look, I really understand, and maybe in the future you can come back. You guys were at the top of our list.
There you go. But yeah, if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. Even if all the dates lined up. I think that sort of follows our last video. If you haven't seen that video, then maybe go back and have a watch of that, because we were talking about living intuitively. And even though it's totally illogical to do that,
give up free accommodation.
Give up free accommodation for 50 days in what would have been an acceptable set. For sure, we could have done it. But I don't know, it just didn't feel right. So we had to say no. So obviously there's another option for us out there, and whatever we're going to end up doing, still don't know.
Which brings us to sort of why Nat is going to move out as such for just a few nights. Is because we're really feeling this, this new project. This, I'm actually finally going to class it as a business.
My God, you have no idea how full on that actually is for her to say that, because Jodie just refuses to say anything of ours has been a business over the last few years. It's always been a creative project, and just really detests the whole idea of Sorry,
Oh,
just
the
watching-
dog's
the dog is
moving everything.
is probably about to shift the camera. Has really rejected the whole idea of business. And I guess when you do that, it's a whole mindset that you also reject as well. And maybe that's why we haven't had so much money in the last few years, is because we haven't called it a business and we've treated it a little bit more as a creative project and not a side hustle. I wouldn't say it was a side hustle. We were definitely putting time and effort into it, but
Project after project, creative expression, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know, I was just like anti the idea of business. But this, I just want to, I'm not going to necessarily put it under the umbrella of a full-blown LLC or like a
that does not resonate
business
for us.
company, whatever.
That stuff we don't subscribe to.
It's just the mindset. It is the mindset shift to go, no, this is a business, so we've got to put in the work and effort, because not only is it an income for us, and we're not looking for, you know, life-changing money or anything from this. It's just maintain our lifestyle. But we've come up with this idea to be able to make it be a complete win-win experience. So it's not just for us, it's for other people as well. And that's the stuff that has always resonated with me, because, oh God, I remember years ago coming up with the idea of create giving, this idea of sort of snowballing, win-win, everybody benefits type of thing. So I think that essence, I'm finally able to put it into a business idea. And in order to do so, there's a lot that needs to be done. And Nat definitely works better when she can work on her own body clock, which is actually different to my body clock. I'm an early riser, early to bed person. Nat is more of a night owl. You can thank your mum and dad for that. You know, in their 80s, they still go to bed at 1 a.m.
Still doing washing at 10:30 at
as
night.
they do. And that's really foreign to me. So, and then also looking after, because we're in a house, so we've got 2 dogs. They generally go out and have their morning walk between 6 and 6:30. They have their breakfast at 7. And then at night we have an afternoon walk and then their dinner at 7. So it's not a big task. And these are 2 really old boys that we're looking after, and they're super, super easy. But there is something about routine and flow, and we've got this opportunity just down the road where all of our stuff is being stored in Angelito's retreat apartment that is vacant for the next 2 weeks.
Funny enough, it's vacant right now.
So not only can Nat spend some time going through our stuff and going, do we keep this? Do we sell that? What do we put back in the cupboard? But you can also get on with the work aspect of what we need to do with creating web pages. And
I do all the web pages and stuff, but and all the copywriting. So I need to really just focus on that. If I get interrupted all the time, it's really hard to just get concentrated on the messaging and stuff that we really want to put out to people.
And she's brilliant at it.
We feel like this is a really good offer, but we need to be able to convey that to people. That's the hard part. So it just takes a bit of brain power.
Alongside of that is the healing process that you're wanting to get started on too, like this alternative approach to healing the osteoporosis diagnosis that an amazing hormone doctor in San Miguel, if you've seen that video that Nat went and got the results from, she even said give it 12 to 18 months of changing up all these things, and you've already started the process, but we've got more changes to do.
I got a lot more changes to do. I've got to change my diet, so I need to lose weight. I'm way heavier than I should be. I'm not eating what I should be eating, and it's really playing on my mind. So that needs to shift. This week we're actually going to water fast. So we've done a lot of water fasting.
So I'm finishing my wine
first. So Jodie's just starting on the yellow coloured water right now. But yes, we have done a lot of water fasting, and I've done a lot of research into water fasting. I actually have a course on water fasting. So we're going to do 3 days, which is a really optimal amount of time to water fast, and it is the fastest way to reduce inflammation in the body. So I feel that's the first thing that needs to happen.
And the water fasting process can be quite an internal and personal journey as well, and it can be sort of an enlightenment experience, because as you start sort of, allowing your body to stop digesting food and start, healing itself, you end up with a lot more time and space, which is weird. But I think even if we separate for a couple of days, if you do go over there while we're fasting, we can, get more clarity, get more insights, and really be able to get this project together. And also you be able to carve out time to look at the stuff that Anna is going to take you through, to be able to look at the self-healing, I guess more of the holistic or spiritual side of the healing, on top of the physical.
It is self-healing. I do believe that, despite the fact that every medical journal will tell you that you can't heal from osteoporosis, you can improve your bone density for sure, but you can't actually heal from the illness or the disease. I believe I can. I'm going to reverse it, and I am going to fully heal from it. Yeah. So that's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of changes in diet, but also a lot of the stuff that Anna's talking about is clearing away some of the past traumas, not just from this lifetime, other lifetimes, in my ancestry, all those sorts of things. Yep, we believe in all of that. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work with Anna on that, and just clearing away all the traumas that actually probably caused this in the first place. So, illnesses are never random. They always are caused by something. So we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to drill down and get to the bottom of it. And I believe that Anna is the person that will help me do that and heal this. She healed from lupus, which is an autoimmune disease, which again, like osteoporosis, is not supposed to be healed. And she's healed from it. Yep. So I'm going to follow in her footsteps and do the work. So it's almost like a brand new, as she said, like you can't continue to be the person that created the disease. You have to be a brand new person, and it's going to take a bit to do that.
And I love the word dis-ease again, because if you break it up and say dis-ease, you can look at replacing the front of that. I can't even remember what the English grammar is of that, but it will just become ease, and therefore eliminating the disease part of life, how you see life, how you show up in life. I believe it's possible too.
Yeah. So that's the journey. Starts this week with the fasting, and that's, to us, fasting is always the reset. So, we will eat much better after the fast because we have doing this reset of fasting. So
and boy, do we need it. We're pigging out.
Way looking forward to that right now, because this has to stop.
Yeah, we can't continue.
My osteo, my back is a lot sorer than it used to be. It's all the inflammation in my body. I'm aching again, and I shouldn't be doing that. So, I was doing really good before, and we've slipped, and it's time to get back on the bike.
Yeah, look, I don't want to make excuses for the slipping, but I think there has been a lot around this indecision side of things, the not knowing, the just, I don't know, a lot of kerfuffle, and I guess a bit of combativeness between us as well. But maybe we're finally waking up. I feel like we're finally waking up. This last week or so has been a lot more enlightening, and I think this few days away with you, just locked down in your little space down there, and I can come and visit. I can bring the dogs down. But if I take over the responsibility of this house sit, and the responsibility of what I do, which is more the video editing and I guess coming up with the ideas and giving Nat the space to do what she needs to do so she can feel like she's clearing the deck, then we come back together, and
I want to focus on this vlog. I want to really put out really good content to you each day, and to clear the decks on some of the back stuff I have to do, the back end stuff, then that will enable us to, or for me at least, to be a lot clearer minded to focus on this.
And what also instigated this today is we were hanging out with her friends today, and one of them, who's just got a super successful business, is always traveling, going to events, running community events with her students and her people, and she's realized that she hasn't given herself any time. Now her wife has just had a fair bit of time on her own and kind of feels a lot more grounded and ready to take the next steps in life and business, etc. But the other one was saying, I haven't had any time to myself, and it's actually it's super important. And I think we've just realized that recently as well, when we were split up between two house sits. we can live 24/7 with each other, but I think occasionally when there's a lot being processed and going on, that it's good to get a little bit of extra space. So,
yeah, we don't get that very often because we're usually on house sits just by ourselves.
Yeah.
But at the moment here, we actually have a lot of friends in town, and one just happens to have a apartment that's not being used right now. So that's
make the most of it.
So that's handy.
So that is why Nat is moving out
I'm moving out.
for a few days.
So you may not see me for the next few days. Jodie will probably do videos, but you know what I'm doing.
I know, I might just do a video of walking down to you and then like knocking on the door.
Saying hi.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay, we'll see what happens. You may see me then.
Anyway, you're going to miss this beautiful view. I'll miss you. The dogs will miss you, but I think it's important.
It'll be worth it.
It'll be important.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Come back a bit more refreshed.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Good.
Talk again soon. Look at that moon.
Oh, is that the moon? No.
Oh, it's the lights.
The light reflecting. I was going to say, the moon wasn't there before and it's cloudy.
Oh, well. The light's reflecting. It looks like the moon.
Amongst the storm clouds.
Beautiful. Hasta luego. Bye.